Okay, welcome everyone. Good to have you with us today, and we're just going to have some very brief introductions. We'll turn it over to Dr. Vince Decker, and he's going to introduce our speaker. And I know that's why you came. You didn't come to hear me make any comments, except we do have some special guests with us today, and I hope that most of you have a program. And you will see on the back of that program, you will see three different groups, really. We have members of our college board, and I know we have two of them here. The board chair, Vicky Spainhour, if you would just stand, and Carrie Ash, if she would stand, and any other board members whom I may have missed. Okay, it's good to have you with us. These are members of the college board. We also, I believe, have a couple of foundation board members. These are the folks that help us raise this money, okay? The scholarships and the money that pays for, say, some of the other events that we have. Any foundation board members here? Okay. All right, and then the next board is the board that really advises us on the different activities that are associated with the Barkhauser Free Enterprise Center. And I know we have a number of those board members with us today. They have done a wonderful job in working with Dr. Decker, Professor Bungbright, Mr. Cannon, and others. And so if you're on the Barkhauser Advisory Board, would you please stand? I want to thank you for a lot of great work. So just kind of look at those boards and think about how important they are to DCC. We also have a couple of elected officials with us today, and we appreciate all the support. You know, this is Danville Community College, and what would we do without our local support? And I believe we have from the city, the Honorable Larry Campbell, who is also on the advisory board, Barkhauser Advisory Board. Larry, thank you. We also have from the county, I know we have one supervisor, and that's Brenda Bowman, the Honorable Brenda Bowman. And then we also have the city manager, Danville, Joe King. Joe, it's good to have you with us. And I believe we have at least one of our economic developers here. Jeremy Stratton is from the City of Danville Economic Development Office. Jeremy, good to see you. Sometimes Brenda wears a couple of hats too, with her involvement with the Pennsylvania County Board of Supervisors and other activities in economic development. Well, and then we have our students. We have a good-looking group of individuals here. I think they're from George Washington High School. And we have a couple of other schools represented, and I may leave you out. I may omit the name. And of course, we're delighted to have our DCC students, faculty, and staff. Now, there's, and I know that Richard Barkhauser doesn't like a lot of recognition, but we do need to extend thanks to the Barkhauser family, and I'll start with Kit, and then Richard Barkhauser, Mr. and Mrs. Barkhauser. They really made this possible to promote free enterprise, entrepreneurship, their testimonies to being great business people and civic leaders. And then James Barkhauser, Mr. and Mrs. Barkhauser's son, and his wife, Christina. Would you please stand? Thank you very much for being here and what you do for this college. And now I'm going to turn this program over to Dr. Decker, and he is going to introduce a very, very exciting guest. Here he is. Mr. Decker.
Wow, what a great turnout. Thank you all for coming. The only announcement I really have to make is if you could turn off your cell phones or at least put them on vibrate. And I think we have a real treat for you this morning, bad pun intended. Wally Amos, I won't read his bio, it's in the program there. But Wally, I would like to let you know that we did bring in a men's choir for you to back you up this morning. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Wally Amos.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing? All right, I'm doing pretty good too. This got me where I'm here. I put my hat on it, but I don't think it's going to. But I'll just put my hat up here. And we'll put the mic. You stay over there. Listen. Wow, what a great turnout. Thank you all very, very much. This is my first visit to Danville. I'm very, very pleased to be here. And actually, I'm pleased to be anywhere. I say that, and then I'm always reminded that it's really great to be alive. Yes, we give thanks for breathing. Someone asked me once years ago, what did I like best about life? And without hesitating for a second, I said breathing. Because if I'm breathing, I stand a very good chance of putting all the other stuff together. But if you miss enough breaths, then there's nothing else to do. So, happy to be here, breathing with all of y'all. Absolutely. Well, as I said, this is my first visit. It's a nice little town y'all got here. It's a little town. I understand there's about 30,000, 40,000 people. But small is good, You guys get to know each other and get to support one another, be friends with each other. So I felt very warm and very welcomed by being here. And I thank you for your southern hospitality. I'm from Hawaii. I flew in last night, took 3 flights to get here, Honolulu, San Francisco, to Atlanta, to Greensboro, and then I had to drive the rest of the way because you don't have an airport. But that's okay, you're close enough to one, so people can still fly to you. That's a good thing. I don't write speeches. I kind of speak from the heart. I tell people what comes up, comes out. I saw you guys in back of me, but I'll turn around every now and then, just to make sure you're here. You don't sneak out the back door. Nice to see you, man, here. Thank you so much. So I used to write speeches because I wanted to say the right words and get everything in order. And then it occurred to me that I don't know anybody in the room. And so to go to that much trouble to try to figure out what I'm going to say to everybody when I don't know who you are, what you need anyway, it seemed a waste of time. And then it occurred to me that just whatever comes up, let it come out, whatever you feel. Because I discovered that I'm not the doer. I'm just the speaker. And the words come through me, not from me. And so to just be extemporaneous, to be spontaneous. But I woke up at about 3 o'clock this morning, which was 9 o'clock Hawaiian time. I felt rested, and I was laying in bed, and I are so still. You know, you have those quiet moments when you can literally hear and feel the vibration of your heart. And I thought that your heart is everything. And it never skips a beat. Without that heartbeat, you don't exist. Without that heartbeat, you are not alive. And I started thinking about what I would say this morning. And, you know, when Vince picked me up yesterday, he and Dave, and we were driving up, and we were talking about what I'm going to say. They asked me about, people always want to know when I go talk to them, well, what are you going to talk about? What are you going to tell everybody? You're going to tell them about your business, you're going to tell them about this, about that. And it's a part of all of that, but I don't have any order for it. So, but I was thinking, this is the first time I've given a talk, really since the latter part of February when I spoke at San Diego State University. And I felt good for some reason about being here and about talking today. I got a new business that I'm starting up, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. And you might even get to taste what that's about. Treat you. But I don't write speeches. I don't have an order that they come up, and so. But I woke up this morning and really looking forward to being here. And they told me so many young people were going to show up also. Then, you know, I truly want to say something that will impact their lives. I want to say something that will impact everybody's lives. And hopefully have you view life from a more positive, spiritual perspective. And hearing my heartbeat, it kind of centered me. And it led me to think about the only time that exists is now. I know we make a lot of plans. I planned to be here, and planned to be here for months ago, because this date was booked quite some time ago. But we make plans, and God laughs. Because God's the ultimate planner. It's not us. And I thought that if the only time that exists is now, and this is the only time there is, no other place exists except right now for us. And that's all that matters is us here right now. There's no tomorrow. Tomorrow is a word. It's a place you can't visit. It's impossible to visit tomorrow. It's a word that we made up to describe some place that doesn't exist. And yesterday is the same. None of you in here can prove that there was a time called yesterday. You can't go back to yesterday. Whatever you didn't do yesterday will never get done. Because the only time is now. Life is a series of now moments. I gave a talk once up in Portland, and I was talking about that concept, and I equated to a video, and you can go fast forward, you can reverse on the video, you know. And I mentioned the fact that you could move it forward, and the young man after said, you know, he said, with life, you can't go back either. So we're all stuck here now. And the thing that I'm always interested in is what are we doing with now? Because if you're not using now wisely, then when will you? I can relate to all of this because I've lived this life and discovered all of these things, you know. I used to always knew what I didn't want to do, who I didn't want to do it with, why I didn't want to do it. And I anticipate what was going to be happening. Then I'd be regretting what had already happened in the path that I traveled that hadn't gotten me anywhere. And it occurred to me that that was just wasted thinking and wasted time. That I need to be making the best of right now. That my goal is to constantly be the best Wally Amos that I can right now. And that's what I worked on. And the one thing that I really want out of life is peace of mind. Peace of mind. What else is there? To be peaceful, to be just excited about where you are now, to be excited about life right this second is all that can happen. Is it all I believe needs to happen. So, you guys who want to be entrepreneurs, entrepreneur is a word. That's all it is. It's not a lifestyle. It's just a word. And whatever you strive to do, whatever you're going to be, your goal really is to be the best you that you can be in whatever career field you choose. Whoever you're with, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, to always do your best, to be your best, is all there is in life. That at the end of each day, that you can finish it, go to sleep knowing that you were the best that you could be. You expended as much love during that day as possible. You were as nice to people as you could. You did everything that you could physically or possibly do to get through the day. If you do that in every area of your life, then you'll be successful. It doesn't matter what product or what service you're providing to someone. If you do the best you can, if you be the best you can, then you will be successful. Now, in terms of products, you know, for years I was a personal manager. I was an agent. I was in show business. And I had a fair success. I was the first agent to work with a group called Simon & Garfunkel. I have to be careful because, you know, I was talking to a group of high school students at home, and I was telling them some of the acts that I'd worked with and thinking that, you know, they'd be kind of impressed. Simon & Garfunkel, you know, the Supreme, first agent to book Marvin Gaye. And we had a break, and the teacher came over to me on the side. He said, "Wow, I'm watching. Some of the students, their eyes are beginning to glaze over because I don't think they know who you're talking about." So I have to be careful. But, you know, in my day, in the day, you know, those were the top of the line acts, you know. And it was all a nice experience, but it was during a time in my life when I was very materialistic. And the one thing that I wanted to do was, I wanted to make a lot of money. Since I was a little boy, I always wanted to make a lot of money. And being in show business, I saw that really is my opportunity to make a lot of money. As I was in show business for almost 4 years, I made a fair amount of money. I didn't make a lot of money. But after a while, I became very disenchanted with show business because it was show than anything else. There wasn't any substance. There was nothing I could grab onto. There was nothing really that made me feel good inside. And I was often reminded of the quote from the Bible, "In the world but not of I was in show business, but I never really felt a part of it. And so I no longer wanted to be in show business. It's interesting when you're doing something and you finally reach a point that you no longer want to be a part of that. And you just cannot continue doing it. I don't care how hard you try, you can't continue to pursue something that you don't feel in your gut. And that came over me. And after a series of experiences and moments, I was having dinner with a friend one evening. Her name was B.J. Gilmore, and she was assistant to Quincy Jones. I had offices at A&M Records, which in those days was a huge record company. And Quincy's office was near mine, and we were good friends because I'd known him from earlier times in New York City. So BJ and I had just had dinner, and we were just friends, no romance and nothing, we were just really good friends. She was a phenomenal lady. And she said something that changed my life. She said, you know, Wally, but everybody knew I made cookies by the way, too. I started making cookies in 1970, and I just gave them away because it was a great cookie. People responded, and it was a way I could share a piece of myself with someone else. But it was also a way to have people remember me in a fun and tasty way. And so DJ and I were having dinner, and after dinner, she said, you know, Wally, you and I, we ought to open a store selling cookies. Now, I had never thought about selling them. I was having too much fun giving them away and never thought about selling them. Now, DJ says to me, Wally, I've got a friend that I know I can get to give me the money, and you and I can go in business together selling cookies. At that moment, I made the commitment to open one store selling chocolate chip cookies. I had never, ever thought about selling cookies in my life. And all of a sudden, I just got on fire with the idea. That's the power in commitment, guys. That's the power in saying, I will do something. Commitment is not I hope or I'll try or maybe. Commitment is I'm going to do this. There's something inside of you that stirs up that will not allow you to stop. Commitment is a powerful, powerful word. And you usually commit to something that you love, something that you have a burning desire, as Napoleon Hill calls it, to do. When you have that burning desire, you are headed for success. And I had that on the night that BJ said she and I should open up a store selling cookies. The very next morning, I walked into my office and I said, BJ, let's get going. I'd never opened a business selling anything, and yet I was ready to go. I asked her to call the health department because I knew that if it were food, the health department would have something to do with it. So where do you start? You start wherever you are. You start with the first thought, the first idea that comes to your mind, and you will be led on the rest of the journey. But that is the starting point. That was my starting point. And through a series of experiences and ideas, I put the rest of it together. I had never done a business plan, but I knew there was going to be, what you're going to do, how much you're going to need to do it, where you want to do it, what are the elements, what's involved in putting it together. And I put a very basic business plan together. But see, there's something unique about each and every one of you. Whatever age you are, there's something special about everyone in this room. And you want to make that a part of whatever you do. I love having fun. And so I thought that what I would do, I was going to sell chocolate chip cookies, chocolate chip pecan, butterscotch chip with the cake. Those, I was making those, giving them away. So those are the 3 flavors that I started with. And then ultimately, I think I added peanut butter or oatmeal also. But I figured since I'm going to sell 3 cookies, that in the beginning of the business plan, before they open the business plan, I want them to see and taste what it is I'm talking about. So I put 3 cookies in a little Ziploc bag, so that as soon as they open the business plan, that was the very first thing that they saw. So they're going to taste the cookies and know how great the cookies are, and then the rest of the plan will hopefully make sense to them. And then when they finish the business plan, I wanted to remind them of what they had just read about, so I had 3 more cookies at the end of the business plan. So there is a unique way. There's something special about each and every one of you. However old you are, remember that there is a quality that you have. There is an attitude that you have. There is something about you that is different from everyone in the world. And you have to apply that to whatever project you are undertaking. Because that's what's going to make you a success. That's what's going to set you apart from everyone else. And don't worry about what other people think of it. All right? There's a great book I read that said, "What you think of me is none of my business." The name of the author just slipped it. I know it for years. But it's a great title. It's a great thought. It's a great idea, right? We worry too much about what somebody's going to think of us. You will discover that no one is going to come up and pay your rent. No one is going to offer you food every month for you and your family as you get older. That is your responsibility. Don't be concerned with what others think of you. It will neither help move you forward, but it can hold you back. You're trying to impress someone else. You don't need to impress someone. You are so powerful and so great and so important, just as who you are. And all you need to do is to believe that yourself. You don't need anybody else to believe it. You need to believe it every single day of your life. So I have moved forward, put this thing together, and in 5 months, I opened the very first store in the world to sell only chocolate chip cookies. And a little variety, and a butterscotch. So the basic recipe was chocolate chip cookies. People thought I was crazy. Maybe I was. But so what? Crazy people can do wonderful things. Just because you're crazy don't mean you don't have some intellect. Just because you're crazy doesn't mean you're not capable. You know, you can be crazy and rule the world like crazy people have. Well, it took off. It took off because I had a great product. I had a great product. So whatever business you want to go into, you need a good product or you need a good service. Otherwise, why would people buy your product or use your service? So you've got to know that going in. You don't need the opinion of someone else. You don't need someone else to convince you that your product is good. You know, I never gave somebody my cookies to sample and then relied on their opinion. I knew they were great cookies when I gave them to them, because I used to eat them all the time myself. So you have to believe in yourself and your product. And I came from a show business background, so I knew how to promote. And I love to promote, and I promoted in a fun way. The thing that I observed was that we don't have a lot of opportunities in life to have fun, because everybody is so serious. Everybody is so serious. Do not be serious. The thing that I have discovered is that serious people, they're always scheming. They are always scheming on how to take something from you and do something to you. They are serious. But also, you take a closer look at it. Serious people do really harmful things to the human race, to the environment, in the name of being serious. Serious people will scheme on how to kill you, how to take advantage of you, because they are serious. I'm not serious, but I am responsible. And I like having fun. Serious people never have fun. So you don't have to be serious, but you do need to be responsible to yourself, to the people that invest in your business, to your customers, to your community. All of those things are really important, but don't be serious. People can relate and respond to fun. Find ways that you can present your ideas in your business in a really fun way. And I was blessed because I had a chocolate chip cookie. So it was really easy, and still is easy to have fun with cookies. So you look for ways to differentiate yourself. You deal with a business or a product that you know something about or that you're passionate about. Now, through all of this, the one thing that I really didn't have no business experience at all. I mean, as I said, show business, it's not about business. Business is the last thing anybody in show business want to think about. So I didn't have any real business experience. I didn't go to Danville Community College to take some business courses, marketing courses, none of that. So I was just playing it by ear. Now, that ultimately hurt me, because another thing that hurt me was that I caught on so quickly, because I'm a good promoter. I'm a great promoter. I do know how to promote. It's intrinsic. It's a part of me. I can see something. And so I'm thinking of ideas on how to promote it, how to market it. I love doing that. Right? So I did a great job in launching Famous Amos. And I mean, in short order, I was really famous and went on to be very famous. And then I stopped listening to people because I thought I knew what I was doing. It was my downfall, guys. It was a trap. It really was. And I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. And I never put a good team of people together to help me grow the business. And I was not qualified to do it by myself. And ultimately, I lost Famous Amos. I made bad decisions. And I can't blame anybody else. You can never blame anyone else for your successes. For your failures. You can know that you need others to help you be successful. The only thing you can do by yourself is to fail. We're good at failing by ourselves. But if you're going to succeed in anything, it's all about team. Team really says, together, everyone achieves more. Together, everyone achieves more. The only thing you'll ever do by yourself is to fail again and again and again. Throw your ego away. Building a business is not about how great you are. It's about how great your team is. Guys, I'm talking about experience. Real life experience. And everything I've done since losing Famous Amos, the first thought that has come to mind is putting a team of people together that will support me and help me be successful with them. Everybody can ride along to success if you have a good team. I've had a series of companies since losing Famous Amos. And I've come to the conclusion that what I do really is I am famous for being famous. Think about it. I've had only one company really that was a success, and that was Famous Amos. And I lost Famous Amos, and I've spent my life since then looking for another successful company. In the process of losing Famous Amos, I got sued by Famous Amos. That was a weird experience. I'm suing myself. But I did some things, that caused me to lose the company, and made some agreements in losing the company that I didn't honor. And so then Famous Amos sued me for breaking the agreement. But there's every experience is a lesson. Life is just one big school. For y'all that are still going to school, I got some bad news for you. School is never, ever over. It's all school. What's one gentleman saying? Oh no. The school never over. The form pages. The rooms get a little bigger. There's less discipline because the older you get, the more responsible you are to be, so you don't need all the structure and acquisition. So those are making better decisions. But all life is school, and there are many lessons that you will always need to learn in order to grow through your life experience. Don't just go through life. Don't let nothing stick. You want to grow through those experiences. You want to learn from them. Otherwise, why have the lesson? Why have the class if you're not going to gain anything? And it's up to you. It's totally up to you. The teachers can't make you. Your parents can't make you. Nobody can make you do anything. But you need to want to do things because it strengthens you. It makes you a better human being. It helps you to be more successful financially and every other way that you want to be financially. You've got to be responsible. You've got to learn. And education is not about coming here to Danville Community College, sitting in a class and having them pour something in your head. To educate is to extract, to take out. We're born knowing everything there is to know. And we place ourselves in environments that will help it come out of us, that will help us to grow and be better people. That's the truth of all of it. So here I am now, 37 years after founding Famous Amos. March 10th, 1975, 37 years ago that I founded that company. And I think that I have finally found another company that will surpass the success that I had with Famous Amos. And it's been a heck of a journey. It really, really has. It's been up, it's been down, it's been in and out. The last business that I had was another cookie business called Chicken Cookie that my wife at the time, Christine, created two little adorable characters that I knew was going to finally get me back on top again. And I gave everything I had to it because that's the way I am. Whatever I'm assigned to do, I give it everything I got. I don't ever want to look back and say, if only I had done this, I would have succeeded. I want to do everything that I can to succeed first. And that was the attitude I had with Famous Amos. I bet the farm on everything that I do. and I lost the farm on chicken cookies. I had that business for 6 years without a salary. So you get a paycheck once because all the employees had to pay. All the bills had to be paid first. And when everything was paid, there was nothing left for me. And oftentimes we didn't have enough income to support the business, so then I had to come up with pretty short. And I lost almost $1 million on chicken cookies. But you know, through it all, I've learned that it's not about how much money you make. Not about how great your product is. It's about who you are. It's about what you can learn from your life experiences. And business is just another life experience. It's so interesting that we treat business as if it's something so important, so much more important than everything else. Business is just a part of life. That's all it is. It's not more important than anything. It's not less important than anything. It's just another part of life. Businesses come and go. They'll come and go with you. They come and go with it. The biggest business becomes a failure. Now here, throughout the world, we have not only businesses, but cities and governments, which is just another form of business, failing in huge ways. We're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars. But when all is said and done, it's just stuff. And it will all come and go. And we will all come and go because there is nothing permanent in life. Everything goes. So, what's your perspective? What's important? What's the truth? That's a good question to ask yourself constantly. What is the truth? What is it that really matters? I mean, when everything else is said and done, when you've done all you can about anything, what matters? It's not more money, it's not fancy clothes, it's not a big car, it's not a house. I've had those things and lost them. The important thing is your integrity. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. What are you standing for? What is your moral compass? Where are your values? Do you keep your word? Are you honest? Can you be trusted? Can you be depended upon? Those are the things that people look for when they hire you to work for them or with them. You don't want to work for anybody. You work for yourself. You work with everyone else. So those are the things that are really important. Those are the things that I look for in my life now. So here I am. Finally, I think I have another idea. And the one barrier I had to break through was, maybe I'm a one-trick pony. Maybe I can only do cookies. So what? What's wrong with that? If you can do one thing and do it well, there are many places you can do it, there are many ways you can do it, there are many ways you can do it to serve the community. And I've used my businesses and my life to serve the community because first I promoted adult illiteracy, and then after 30 plus years of promoting adult literacy and thinking, how can we maybe get rid of the problem of adult illiteracy? It occurred to me that if we create generations and generations of children who know how to read, then that would get rid of the problem of adult illiteracy. So I switched and began promoting children's literacy, encouraging parents to read to their children because that is early childhood development, reading to kids every day, and that's what my passion is, and that's what I'll do now for the rest of my life. So, but I got to all of that by being famous and by selling cookies. And I still, after 37 years of selling cookies, love chocolate chip cookies. So what's wrong with being known as the cookie man? And what's wrong with still wanting to make cookies that taste good. There's nothing wrong with it. That's the conclusion I've come to. I've processed my life to the point where it's okay to do one thing as long as you do it well. And as long as you love doing it also. We don't have to do a lot of things. We don't have to go from thing to thing. You can choose to do one thing. And there are doctors that work on people's hearts, other parts of their body. And they specialize in that. There are many people who specialize in one thing and do it well and really serve the community in a fantastic way. The thing is to do it well and to do it with integrity and to have fun doing it also. So, and I'm at that point now. And it's funny that as my life seems to converge at a point where it looks like I've got quite a few aspects of it together, it gets easier and easier. And I finally came up with another name because that's been my challenge. Another name, because I cannot use famous Wally or Amos as a part of the brand, and I can't use my face, my picture as a part of the brand. So there are some restrictions, but God doesn't know anything about restrictions. That's the great thing that throughout all the trials I've been through and the experiences that I've come through, I've used all of those to help build a strong spiritual foundation so that I'm living on solid ground. Not something that's wishy-washy, but I've been given many tests to see if that's really what I believe also. Because you say you believe something, well, you'll be given the opportunity to prove that you believe it. And I have been tested, especially during the last 2 years. I've been taking a PhD, and do I really believe that? And I'm going to say, without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt, I am so convinced that God is the source of everything in my life. I mean everything. This heart that I was talking about, God keeps that beating. Every breath that I take, God supplies that for me. My lungs breathe me. I'm not in charge of that. I can't fix any of that. I don't want to regulate that or control any of that. So everything in life that really matters, that really has meaning, comes from God. Whatever your interpretation of God is, whatever your interpretation of God is, I think. But as long as you're true to that, you live that, and you believe that, and you allow that life force to work through you, then you're in really good shape. So I know that now. And I know that when you come to the end of your rope, there is only one thing to do. Let go. Let go and let God. And you'll land the same space every single time. So I have a name. I have a name that meets all the qualifications. And it was there all the time. And I was thinking about it and thinking about it, and finally one night I pulled into my garage and I was sitting in the car thinking about this name, and I had this vision of my signature. And when I signed my name, I signed W-A-M-O-S. Wamos. That's my name. It's the new name. It's the new name of my cookie business. And it's legally correct. Because it's not Wally. It's not Amos. It's not famous. You don't have to use my picture. But when you look at W-A-M-O-S. UC, W. Amos. UC Amos, UC Watts. I can promote that as my company, the company that I created and that I support the product. And the school was kind enough to purchase cookies. This is a great school. This is a great school. They were kind enough to purchase some Wamos chocolate chip cookies. What I'm selling now is my original. This is the recipe that made me famous. This is the taste that I'm discovering people remember after 37 years. The taste that made me famous. And I gotta say, it is such a great feeling to be doing this. It feels as if everything is just, that I'm in the flow. You can feel it. I mean, when all the pieces are kind of falling the way they are supposed to fall. You know it. You really do. Help comes in the most unexpected way. You have to be consistent. You have to stay the course. Your moral compass has to be intact. You've got to stay the course and follow what is your integrity and what is your belief to do so. So I want to close with a couple of remarks. Success is doing what you love and loving what you do. It should not be work. Life is not about work. Life is not a struggle. Life is a joy. Life is meant to flow. You just roll your boat. Roll your boat. Don't worry about somebody else's boat. Your responsibility is to row your boat gently down the stream. And it's not a struggle. You don't have to wrestle with anybody. You don't have to fight with anybody. Life is about being calm. It's about going with the flow. Gently down the street. Merrily, be happy. Be joyful. It is a dream. This is not real. It's all made up. Folks, think about that. It's all made up. We make it up. You make up your life experiences every day based on what people tell you, based on what you learn in school, based on what your parents told you, based on what you think. It's all made up. You have the ability to make up something that's so magnificent. It will astound the world. It has happened time and time again. Stephen Jobs with Apple and Steve Wozniak, they made up something that was so phenomenal. It is the most most valuable company in the world at this point. It all comes from here. You all have that capability, guys, but you have to prepare yourself, and you got to get your thinking in order, and you got to get your mind in order, and your values in order. But everything is in place. You got it where you are. You don't have to ask anybody for it, permission to use it. You got it. And it's your responsibility to use it. And if I can do it, high school dropout. I'm not proud of it, but it didn't stop me. And I didn't stop there. I got more education. I never got a degree in anything except living. But I used my experiences wisely, and I learned from my experiences. And if I can do it, whatever it is that you think I've done, then you can accomplish your goals and your dreams. Everything is possible whatever you think you can do, you want to do, you can do it. If you put your mind to it. I've written a couple of books. I've actually written 10 books. This is a pretty good accomplishment too for a guy that finished high school. So again, proving that everything is possible. I use authors in many of my books. I've written a couple of books just by myself, and I'm not a writer, but I write like I talk because I want to be understood also. So it's a simple thing. This is a book. People always ask, what's my best book? And I've come to the conclusion that if I got to make a decision, that I would choose a book called The Power in You. I like the title. The power is in you. Where else would the power for your life be except in you? And it is the God that's in you. It is the Spirit that is in you that it makes you so powerful. And this is a poem called Claim Your Power. Claim that power that is absolutely yours. Claim your power. It's written by Russell Kemp. Claim your power. Start it flowing. Activate it in your mind. There's one power. There's one mind, and I'm its power. Calmly say this, and you'll find you're the master, not a puppet. You're God's image, not a slave. You can triumph over trouble. There is power within you to save. Ever loving, ever waiting, power in you heeds your word, not somebody else's. Your power listens to you. You were born to be the victor, and to give up is absurd. Dare to listen. Dare to breathe deep. Now relax. Think with power. Claim your power. Claim your power. Claim your power. God is waiting. Claim your power. Because it's there. All you got to do is claim it. And then you share it with the world. If I can do it, everybody can do it. So I promote reading aloud. And I never give a talk without sharing a children's book. Children's books are so powerful. They're entertaining, they're informative, they're written on every possible subject you could think of. And imagine reading these books to kids over and over and over, because kids at that young age, they want to hear them again and again, because they've memorized it. You can't change a word in it. You can't skip a page in it, they'll nail it. They'll stop it. No, you missed something. That's not what it said. So, I want to share the carrot seed with you. I'm often reminded that you can't kill a book. You can destroy the book, but you can't destroy the ideas that are in the book. I can tear this book up, but the idea that's in this little book, it doesn't matter how big it is, how many pages it is, because it's the idea that's in the books. That's where the power lies. And this is a neat little book. It's called Carrot Seed, written by Ruth Krause, illustrated by Crockett Johnson. A little boy planted a carrot seed. His mother said, "Oh, honey, I'm afraid it won't come up." His father said, "Oh, son, I'm afraid it won't come up." And his big brother said, "Nah, it won't come up." Every day, the little boy pulled up the weeds around the seed and sprinkled the ground with water. But nothing came up. And nothing came up. Everyone kept saying it wouldn't come up. But he still pulled up the weeds around it every day and sprinkled the ground with water. And then, one day, carrot came up just as the little boy had known it would. A carrot so big, he needed a wheelbarrow to take it away in. And all the naysayers were just in awe of him. Nobody can tell you what you can or can't do. We give people permission to do that, but you shouldn't do that. You should have faith in your idea regardless of who says it. Your mother, your father, it doesn't matter how close they are to you. Don't listen to people if they're not giving you advice that's going to help move your life forward. Amen. I don't care who they are. And let's also learn to encourage one another instead of telling people what they can't do. Just because you think you can't do it does not give you the right to tell someone else they can't do it. You need to encourage one another again and again and again, because everything is possible. When you look out in the world and you see all types of inventions and creations and businesses and everything that has been developed and thought of and invented and created, how dare anyone tell you that you can't do something when everything has been done except the one thing that you were born to do. And if you don't do it, it will never get done. Because there is one thing, at least in all of us, that we have been assigned to do. And if you don't do it, it goes to your grave with me. And the world loses. And you think of all the wonderful things that have happened that might not have happened because the inventor, the creator believes someone said that. That's never been done before. If we believe that, then we would even be here. Because we would be in a building, oh Lord, nobody ever built a building before. Why wouldn't do that? Nobody ever built a building that tall before. Everything is possible, folks. So, always give more than is expected of you. And you have it to give. Do your very best. Every second of your life. Trust in God. There is nothing else that lasts. There's nothing else that you can really, really stand on. eat a lot of chocolate chip cookies. Eat a lot of Wamos chocolate chip cookies. And even though you cannot go to a supermarket or any store anywhere, I don't even sell them in stores at home yet. And it's going to be a very limited number that can do that. But all I got a meeting Friday with a bakery in Little Rock, Arkansas, that has come closer than anyone has to replicating my handmade, homemade style cookie. The look and the taste of that cookie. Now, I haven't met them yet. I've tasted the product that they made. And if everything is okay, then you'll be able to go to stores and get them too. I'm concerned that the taste be there. Because food is about taste. Cookies is about taste. If it tastes good, your mouth will not say no. You cannot fool your mind. That's true. Taste is you can't trick your mouth into believing something tastes bad if it tastes good, or vice versa. Right? So if they taste good, you're going to buy them and you'll find out where they are sold. But that happens with things. So, but I'm going to help you and give you a little help right now, because I know you're going to taste these cookies, and your mouth is going to be on you every day to give them some more. And so what you want to do is go to WamosCookies.com. WamosCookies.com. And we will be selling online, and we will even ship to Danville. Guys, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Be good for yourself. See you. Have a good life. Be good for others. So WamosCookies.com, and I'm going to see what they taste like now, and you'll enjoy it. You guys are great audience. You're very inspiring, and I thank you for your hospitality, for your friendship, and welcoming me to Danville Community College in the city of Danville. Thank you. Bless you. This is a famous song. It's called Aloha. Aloha Oi. Aloha Oi. Aloha Oi. This is a kazoo. This is a hand-carved kazoo that was given to me by my friend. It's got Wally Amos, the nickname that I have, and it's got watermelon on it. Until